now, man, but you got to keep going. What am I going to do, quit? That's not an option. You got to keep on keeping on. Life's a garden, dig it? You make it work for you. You never give up, man. That's my philosophy.
Have you seen that movie? Please tell me you've seen
Is
that
it Joe
movie.
Dirt?
Yeah. Really?
Yeah, clips. I don't think I've seen it fully. I know, I'm bad, eh? I have.
There we go. Okay, you guys. So we are.
That's fine.
That's horrible, man.
I know.
Like.
I know. I got to start smartening up.
Dang. That, I don't want to say it's a great movie actually. it's stupid humor, but there's a
He's
lot
classic.
of yeah.
Yeah. David Spade.
Even this guy, Anthony Kennedy.
What's going on, Ninja?
Yeah, man. But man, beautiful day today. I went for. It says I did like 20,000 steps, which is I think.
Wow.
I don't know how many miles, whatever.
That's good.
But yeah, I went out. Everyone's sneezing their ass off. Everyone's like.
Allergy time.
Everyone's getting allergies. Yeah, man. But yeah, I went out and then. It's still daylight, man.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah. How about you? How'd your day go?
Same. You know, I was cleaned up the house a bit in the morning, and wife got home. We went for a walk with the little one, a little bit to the park. The weather's been getting really good here, so it's nice. It's nice to finally get out of the house. I'm sick of winter already. It's been a long one.
It's crazy, right?
It was good. Like winter was pretty good the entire time until like January. Then January hit, and it was just boom, snowfall.
Snowstorm.
Yeah.
Freaking global warming, man.
Tell me about it.
So I heard it's supposed to be. I pay attention to the Farmer's Almanac.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, it's supposed to be a humid summer, man. So I'm like, close the book, burn it, look for the author or whatever.
I don't survive well in humid weather.
Oh, really?
I hate humidity. Like a dry heat, I don't mind if it's nice and hot with a little bit of breeze, but humidity, forget it, man.
Yeah, humidity. I always feel like I want it more than dry because I like working out in humidity because you sweat a ton more.
Jeez.
But then like when you're out and about with family, you look at somebody like, hey man, like your whole back is like
Exactly.
sweat. And I was like, oh. Yeah, but summer's here. Summer's almost here, man. So.
And you know what they say with the humidity? If you get humidity, box up those J&Ds.
Yeah, man, that's right. Wow, man. But man, that Red Hulk, he keeps staring at me, man, and like it keeps making me think of my collection. Like some guys actually reached out to me, going like, "You have you're going the right direction. You're going like, you know, you're following a good direction." But I was like, that Red Hulk is 1/3 size or 1/3 scale or something, man. He's huge.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know if you saw the picture next to Apocalypse. I thought Apocalypse was big.
Yeah, exactly. I saw it. Yeah.
It's insane, man.
It's a beauty.
Like that beauty behind you too. That new Batman, man. What's the story behind that one?
It doesn't end, man. It's
Yeah.
it's never ending. It's I don't know. A guy locally was doing a pretty good sale on some pieces, so I couldn't. You know, the sale comes up, you can't say no. So I jumped on it, and this for sure will be the last Batman. No more Batman. Now we focus on the rogues.
Well, you know, LBS made an announcement like on Friday, right? Like,
Yes. I know. Shh. That's long term.
That's a scary situation right there. Yesterday, I called it a shift in collecting.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna change stuff around, man. I think.
Well, it's really going to people's ears are going to perk up because LBS is doing a great job, and you know they're picking something up, a lineup that we don't have. Right? We have Prime One doing the DC line, but we don't have them doing a solid comic book line with some of the rogues. Like they have their Hush line, which is really good, but other than that, like it's the Arkham line. So I think they're filling in a much needed gap in the hobby. But it's going to be dangerous. I think you're going to see a flood once you start seeing photos come up and so forth of the product, LBS product and prototypes and so forth. I think you'll see an influx of pieces hitting the market.
Yeah, man.
What's going on, Trey?
It's for the better because for me I think it's like more competition better. You know, Prime Month's gonna be like, we're gonna release these, but also like, that's what I want to talk about today. So today's topic is gonna be about.
Oh boy.
Let's see.
Let me get my seatbelt on. Hold on. All right, we're ready. Ooh,
so this could be anything you want. Market-wise, are we in a bubble, or statue company is gonna default, or statue company is gonna, or like other collectibles. Right now, what I saw, like what's his name? The guy who collects cards,
Justin's sports card museum. Yeah.
Everything's tanking. He said, like card-wise.
Really?
Yeah. So I was like, oh crap. Then like I didn't think about statues or everything else we collect.
It's a good topic. It's a good question. Hey, what's going on, Sean?
Hey guys, what's up?
How's it going, Sean?
It's going good, man.
Do you like our wall of art to the left and right of you?
I know. Look at that.
It's a tunnel of art.
Predict the future, and here we are collecting.
Yeah. Paper mache.
That's the new thing, man. Paper mache.
You bring up a fantastic point. I think it's really gonna fall in line with a little bit of the economy and how tough it may get. Because when people get pinched, these are the first things to go. So I think you will see a little bit more of an influx of probably mass selling of collections online. I think once the economy starts an uptick, these deals, you're not going to see these deals forever.
No way.
I just don't think you're going to see these deals forever. I think this is, I don't want to say desperation, but panic. People panicking as well and kind of putting stuff away for a nest egg and so forth. But I really think things will bounce back. Company-wise, you see Sideshow really going back to their roots and really pivoting their business plan. And I think companies are following. Queen Studios has been very quiet lately. And I think John was on Collectors Enabled yesterday.
I didn't get to see that one.
And he was mentioning that they're kind of sitting on the sidelines looking at the market. Right now, you have a bunch of collectors fulfilling pre-orders. So now's not necessarily the best time to be putting new product up. But it'll be interesting to see. But I think there will be a bounce back. And I don't think you're going to be able to see these pieces the way you're seeing them this cheap forever.
I remember Queen Studios saying they were going to release a statue every month. No, 2 every 3 months, I think, was their goal last year for this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they hit that QC issue with the bus, the Venom bus, so that kind of sent them back as well.
So Sean, I don't know if you caught the gist of what we're trying to predict the future. Like anything you want to talk about predicting the future, though, like economy wise, collection wise. I don't know how the 1/12th world is doing, but could talk about that. Whatever you like.
I'm concerned right now because like I see a lot of figures that were just released maybe a month and a half ago, hitting clearance sales, which is great, if you're able to find them and pick them up for cheaper. But you got like $30 figures going for like $10 to $12, and it's just concerning because I'm like, why are these hitting stores so quick and then quickly also going to clearance aisles? And what's up, Brenton? And it makes me just think of like just the quality that's going on. Like did Target or Walmart like overshoot or undershoot on their ordering, and they're just trying to get rid of it because they don't want to hold on to it, like they would, like if something in the clothes aisle didn't move, like, well, it's okay because it's supposed to be there, But I don't know, like I feel like in Hasbro's world, ever since they went to the windowless boxes stuff, like the QC issues have just been crazy, quality control's been out the window. People getting 2 right hands or 2 left hands, or a joint isn't cut the right way, like in the elbow or the knee or something like that. It's like my my Dino Fury Green Ranger. I ordered it from Amazon got it in, wasn't cut correctly, and the peg broke off on the hand when I was trying to remove it. So Amazon didn't question anything. They're like, oh, okay, I understand. Well, they go, how about this? How about I refund your money and I send you another one? So I'm like, sweet, let's do it, right? So they send me another one, same issues. And I heard originally from other people who have the figure prior to me getting it that it's just messed up. So I basically zombified that Green Ranger, and I took an arm from one body, a leg from the other body, and I but other people are having worse issues. They buy a $150 figure, $200 figure, whatever it is, and they're like, oh, sorry, but we can't replace that figure. Here's this, and they'll just throw some random something at them. That's not what they wanted.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just feel like quality is tanking in that aspect of some of these figures, and I feel like it's going to reach a breaking point where a lot of people are just kind of done with Hasbro.
Wow. I would have never known that about that, man. I never even heard of it too. So, but really quick, Cece won't be able to attend tonight. She says, "So sorry I couldn't make it." She's packing up for Celebration, which is like across the country, like across. What did they say? Across the pond.
Yep.
But a print from last year I missed out on was just on BST Group for $800. It retailed for $90 for 2 of the prints.
Wow.
So
I love to see it.
yeah.
See, there's money. Like, people are, we see everything tightening up, but will always be people spending money. Always.
And like Carl just mentioned here, I don't know if you follow Tweeterhead, Sean, but there's a new Joker on Throne that came out. The quarter scale finally came out, and a lot of people aren't receiving an extra portrait that they ordered that came with the statues.
Interesting.
And it's happening to a ton of collectors. Where I think Tweeterhead made an announcement saying or Sideshow made an announcement saying, we're taking care of this. We're shipping out, the extra portraits to everybody. So no concerns. But that's how do you miss that?
Well, and that's kind of what I'm wondering. If this figure is coming off this line or statues coming off of this line, I don't know how everybody's line work works, but I don't think it would miss. I wouldn't miss a beat. And okay, I need this gun, this sword, this extra head sculpt, and this other piece or whatever,
Yeah.
And people aren't getting that,
Yeah.
And there's no way of checking now, they're going windowless for most everything.
They could ship me out, put me on the assembly line, and I'll take care of it.
Well, I've wondered too, as collectors, how many people have actually done that. I've seen in the 1/12 world, you know what? Screw this. I'm gonna go get a job at Target and just work in customer service. So every time someone who steals a piece and tries to just return the figure or swaps figures can be like, hey, you know what? This is not right. I cannot accept this. Sorry for your luck. And I'm keeping the figure because obviously you're stealing.
Dang,
And stuff.
true.
So
It's not a bad idea. Man. Yeah, but another thing for the statue world too is we were mentioning Queen Studios, right, John?
Yes, sir.
They were supposed to already have I think at least March. They should have already had 4 statues out already, and they've been quiet since the beginning of the year. I mean, I'm sure there's something going on, but it's rare. At least for me, I haven't seen this happen where a company lays out their whole plan for the year, and they don't update us what's going on, especially for stuff missing the mark.
Yeah. And the only thing I don't appreciate with that, I understand from a business perspective, but from a community perspective, last year they were everywhere, on every stream, talking about their business plan, talking about their releases and so forth, free marketing, and just getting the word out there. Channels were talking about them, talking about what they had planned, what was coming, everything. And then they just go radio silent. I think that is a big miss for them, both on the statue side and the 6 scale side within art. But
they
That's
said
just
something
that's just
about
for me.
like less talking, more listening, or something like that. I was like,
Help do that from the beginning before you try selling your product. How about that? I don't know.
it's like literally saying like, "Oh, we took advantage of you guys already, so you know we already know what to do now." You know.
I think if collectors get to the point where they're starting to think to themselves, "Where's this company?" I think you're already at the problematic point.
Yeah, completely agree with that. But it says Queen Studios have stated they are slowing down.
Yeah.
They did? Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, they're slowing down. They're kind of taking a back seat right now just because of the way the market is. And I think he had mentioned that there's just so many pre-orders in play right now, and they want to kind of take a back seat because they don't want to overwhelm the community.
I heard they're canceling their half scale stuff too.
Yeah, they're pumping the brakes at
Wow.
least for now. Yeah,
No, I heard he's canceling.
he's canceling it. Okay,
Yeah, he put
I
a
heard for
hold-
now it's on hold. Yeah, I heard it's on
No, they
you heard canceled.
it. Yeah,
Okay.
to like even thinking of downgrading to 1/3. Like
Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard that they at least are putting a stop to it for the next 9 months, and their focus is going to be pumping out third scale.
yeah. I mean, it's smart of them too, but imagine the collectors that already collected the half scale stuff.
Yeah, not cool.
Like Sean, that stuff is expensive and it's huge. It's
Yeah.
bigger than like what John has behind him. And can you imagine getting the line and then they like, hey, we're sorry, but we're gonna stop it and we're gonna go. I'd be like,
What's going on, Brian? Carl, figure. Yeah,
Dylan
you're right,
Queen Studios.
Steve.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Overwhelm the customers. Yeah. What's up, FigureCon? But like, one thing I also wanted to mention is, since we're predicting the future, do you think any of these companies are like? I guess I'll just ask you guys straight up. Do you guys think any of these companies are going to go bankrupt?
That's crazy. It's crazy to think of. To be honest, and people are gonna think I'm nuts. I thought for the longest time Sideshow was.
Yeah.
Because I think Sideshow paints a beautiful, colorful picture that, hey, we're distributing and we're this and that. And we have so many...
The only ones in the U.S. kind of thing. Too.
Channel-
They're saying that for a while.
Yeah. So, and I think they're really in the red. And
Or they're
that's
realizing that there's other companies who are coming out with better product and also getting it over here.
Of course, there's always ways to get the product 100%. But I think that's why you saw a drastic pivot from them this year. In only I've never seen them put out an exclusive statue just to them. No distributors can get it, nothing. Unless it had like an exclusive portrait or something that's exclusive. But a whole statue, no regular, no nothing, just the whole statue. I haven't seen that before. So
what do you think about like all the clearances and stuff that they've done recently? Like,
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Like Sideshow's done that too. Like, the same thing.
like
you
it's
mentioned
like
with-
been pretty consistent that almost every
Yeah,
month
that's true.
there's been
Yeah.
some kind of discount on
Sale.
shipping. Get this
Yeah.
for 20% off when you do this
Yeah.
or that, and I mean, like their not their clear out sale, but like their big holiday sale and stuff, and that lasted through what, like February almost.
yeah, I think that once they're done their clear out, clearing that warehouse out, I don't think you're going to see as many clearances.
No way.
They're just trying to
'Cause-
get rid of stuff.
Yeah, because I think with COVID, we had talked about this a couple episodes ago. I think with COVID, that changed the collecting, it changed the way collectors were collecting, and it forced companies to, like especially Sideshow, to stock up on product. Like they had Hot Toys coming out of their ears,
Yeah.
and that's not going to happen anymore.
Carl brings up. Sorry, it's all about statues, Sean, but
No, it's good. I dabbled just a little bit, so we're good.
Carl says, "You think XM will be in the red even with a small edition size doesn't sell out?" It's so true because XM does like less than 300, and
Yeah.
they still don't sell out of that stuff.
Well, even Prime One, look at Talon 250. It's still
Oh yeah.
I mean, those are heavy prices to swallow. I mean, I know like
That's-
we talk in our community like, oh, we got this, oh, we got that, but we're kind of immersed, right? If you're
Yeah.
thinking like the general collector who's like, you know what, I'm gonna buy an XM. That's probably like the one XM, two maybe in a couple of years or something. So I think we see it a lot because we're out there. We talk about it. We see it. We're talking on the groups. You know, like we're getting XM or we're getting Prime or we're getting Sideshow this or whatever it is. You know, so
Yeah, but I think with the low, yeah, it's weird. It's weird that you get these low ESs, they're not selling out. It's not good.
So I think before they go bankrupt, I honestly think a lot of these companies are either in the red or potentially, crossing over to red. But I think before they do go bankrupt, I feel like they're gonna merge.
Yeah,
Like either J&D is gonna merge with Queen Studios or whoever it is, or
I think something's gonna happen big with Sideshow this year.
as
I just
like
have
yeah.
something. They're gonna do something. I don't know. It's just a gut feeling.
I don't know if you watch wrestling,
No, I
Sean
don't.
John, but like
just today,
it happened today, man. WWF or WWE was
WWE
bought out by
UFC,
UFC.
the company
What?
that runs UFC, the
Really?
company that runs
Eleanor.
UFC.
Eleanor, yeah.
So how's that gonna? So what difference is that gonna make now?
It's that was the major competition for UFC.
Yeah.
Like it was
It created
Oh.
what was it? A $21 billion company.
So let me just remember this because I dabbled in wrestling a bit. Maybe I shouldn't even say this live because the amount of we got a lot of wrestling fans in the
Put in the private
community.
chat.
So, I went to I went to one WrestleMania when it was here in Toronto.
Oh, nice.
I want to say 18. I was
Wow, I've never been.
I was so young, like I don't even remember. That's how young. But it was the one with Rock and Hulk Hogan. They went head to head.
What? That was
Yeah.
the biggest one, man. One of the biggest ones.
But my dad took me, but I was young. I don't even know what year it was. Well, I think it was 18. They're on what, 40 right now?
I have no idea. I haven't
Okay.
watched it in forever.
I don't
but
watch,
Yeah,
so-
that's a good one though.
But it's staged. No, it's all acting. It's like a soap opera.
Okay.
I think
Like,
I
you
think
can't say this
the,
live. Like, well, okay.
I think the stories are
I get
staged.
crucified if I say
Okay.
it.
I watched some of those hits, man. Those are pretty.
Well,
tough.
the hits, but they're all trained to take the hits.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then like certain finishers, like okay, you're gonna at this point in the match, and then the turn, and
Yeah. It's not
yeah,
like
I
those.
started watching wrestling. I think like my 8th grade year, and then I watched it all the way through like my senior year, and then I just kind of fell off, and then in September, August, somewhere right there, I started watching it again because I was like, oh well, Peacock is $5 or whatever, I'll do it, and then I'll watch Royal Rumble because that was in San Antonio, and I was like, well, maybe I'll hold on to it for WrestleMania, and here I am, like I'm watching all the pay-per-views now, and I'm watching all the regular showings, and
It's a
right
trap.
back in it. I watched WrestleMania on yesterday, and
Last week
it was a lot of fun, and
yeah.
Good stuff.
But yeah, I feel like that's like a foreshadowing thing. Like for me, I'd never thought WWE would ever be sold, or let alone UFC take them over. UFC started way
That
after
was
WWE.
crazy.
Yeah.
I wonder what kind of like input they're gonna have, like if Triple H is kind of gonna step away, or they're gonna let them do the creative, or
Triple H is going to show in the UFC to promote stuff.
I know, right? Get Joe Rogan commentate and get rid of Cole.
Yeah, right.
It's even. Have you guys have seen that new slap thing?
Oh, I'm not a fan of that, but yeah, I've seen it.
Oh
yeah.
my god, that stuff's dangerous, man. Boom.
But yeah, so like, let's just
What do
say, go ahead,
do
Sean.
what do you guys think about like big, like far out pre-order dates? Like right now, there's some things that are slated for like 2024 and then even 2025. Is that right yet, or we're not quite at that point?
Well, like Prime 1 is like the most common one where you order something, you won't hear back in 3 years. So yeah, something like that.
So like,
yeah.
what do you feel about that? Like in your meantime, like you just figure out other stuff or find other stuff, or
Save up.
Yeah, save up. But that's the biggest thing for me. I don't like pre-ordering that kind of stuff because what if I decide not to continue that line, right? Or I just get really
just because it's
bored.
too far out of sight, out of
Yeah,
mind?
you never know. Yeah, at least for me. But the collectors that do pre-order that kind of stuff, it gives them more time to pay it off. Like installments or whatever they.
See, my biggest pet peeve right now with the 112 stuff is pre-order dates that are a year out. You know, like how are you telling me that a Hot Toys is going to take the same amount of time of engineering than doing the 112 figure, you know? And I hate seeing it. Like, it's like, you know, this figures, they're already announcing figures for fall of 2024, you know? And I'm like, that's way too long to wait.
That's probably the answer right there. Like, maybe like we're over, or maybe I oversaw this, but maybe the factories are being like crazy bombarded with backlog from COVID, and they're like insanely, you know, booked. So they're trying to like keep up, and quality control is getting affected. And I don't know, maybe that's the answer right there. Like that. This is probably why a lot of companies are. I don't know. What do you think, John? You think that has an impact on anything?
The delay?
Yeah.
I think it's just a way to get the money to fund the projects.
You think so? Like even for 112 stuff?
I think for everything. To rush the product, why rush it? They'll take an NRD, raise the money, and take their time doing it to execute the figure.
That can't be sustainable, though, you know?
Yeah, that's...
Because, I mean, you're talking like you're going to get pre-orders out the wazoo like 4 or 5 years out.
Look at Hot Toys, man. We're still getting like freaking Iron Man figures. Loki just dropped from like how many years ago? It's not fun. For me, it's not. I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy the long wait. Collecting 1/3, I don't mind the wait because I don't want to be dropping so much money in a year, right? On pre-orders. But for the 6 scale stuff or smaller scale statues even, yeah, it's a long wait. Too long.
Sean, I guess like what's the normal waiting time for 112 stuff?
I feel like it should be like if we're, I say we're fairly still close to the beginning of the year. You know, we're just maybe hitting that threshold of getting into like second quarter-ish or so, right? Mm-hmm. I feel like the latest it should be is December. Maybe even like October, you know?
So like 6 to 8 months usually?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I feel like you'll put out way too many pre-orders and then you just have all of the stuff that piles up, you know? I mean, who was it? Black Series. I said a few weeks ago, well, it's like more like a month ago, that they're going to stop doing pre-orders on Black Series figures and they're just going to let them hit stores.
That's going to be crazy.
You know, so it's going to be
Yeah.
back like the old days. You got to go to Toys R Us. You know, you got to go to the stores to go get it day one kind of thing. But they listen to their Black Series collectors and they're like, this is too many pre-orders. So like we're keeping this one pre-order and the rest of them we're going to move back to like a regular release kind of thing.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I know like John, you mentioned Hot Toys and like they call it 2.0 or they call it 2.1 and everything.
Yeah.
It's like I guess like another answer I'm seeing there is like they're trying to redo these because they know these sold and people are gonna pay whatever they're gonna put them out for. Just like, you know, paint them up a little bit more, add an extra accessory, and then because the smart thing there is they could use the same mold, you know, and they could use like the same everything, like cost savings for like the company itself. That's smart for them, but for us, we're getting bamboozled with like old stuff, man.
Business perspective, fantastic for them because they're using the same molds. They have the license, so they're maximizing the potential of the license. For collectors, devastating. In my opinion, if you're the collector who's purchasing the original one, devastating.
I feel like Walton and Carl keep talking about the factories, like. Man, like I'm saying, like I said earlier, like they're probably catching up from COVID, man. And they're still, I don't know if they're still on lockdown in most parts of China or in Asia, but I'm sure they're catching up still. So
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the other thing too. You know, places don't have it like we do. I mean, I definitely think COVID's still around, and I've even heard like here locally it's kind of ramped up a little bit. But it may not be like that in other countries. So, you know, I mean, they're still struggling and they still got to make a living and deal with their type of inflation and their income and stuff like that. So,
really quick, Figure Kong is asking, do you guys think they will re-release the Hot Toys Hulkbuster?
Oh boy, I don't think so.
no.
If they do, John, the world is over, right?
No, the world was already over when they re-released '89 Batman and Batmobile. For
They
me,
re-released-
I'm done with them for now.
Oh, Figure Kong, I'll cross my fingers for you, but John says it's not happening.
I don't
Sorry,
think it
man.
will happen.
But what else do you guys want to predict of the future for your collectibles, the statues, your figures, everything?
I think
I can see myself maybe moving away from a lot of the Marvel stuff.
Like, are you gonna sell them, or are you gonna just not buy them?
I think at some point I'm gonna keep what I have. Like, this is really big for me, and every time I watch Endgame, it just comes right back. So, you know, it's one of those things. So I'm in love with it, but I feel like I'm at a point where I'm okay not buying Marvel stuff. I mean, I was huge into the comics, you know, and I was buying every Marvel book at one point, and then I had to drop down from like 30 subscriptions to like 20 to like I stayed at 15 for a long time, and it took me a couple years to get down to just like 4, you know. But I don't know, like, it's fun and I'm having fun, but I don't see much more than I need. Like, there's a few that are coming out here later this year, like the Mark 1 Iron Man, or the Model 1 is what they're calling it, for from their comic, from the Tales of Suspense comic. A couple others, but I'm kind of interested in getting into other lines. NECA, more Power Ranger stuff. Just stuff that I'm having fun with, you know.
Gotcha. In the figure world too, do you see other companies like NECA and the other like, I'm not too familiar with all the other companies, but do you see them also like throttling down? Like, are they not releasing a lot of figures all the time, or are they?
I mean, I feel like, so my shows every 2 weeks, and we don't cover too much on NECA right now. That'll probably come back a little bit later, but even McFarlane, I feel like, is kind of slowed down, where he was dropping like 8 or 9 things every 2 weeks or so, and then Mezco does a couple of things about a month or so. But I think like Super 7, like, they have pre-orders that are going way back. This, like, when they like their first couple of waves of like their Disney stuff that they started announcing. And now for some of it, we're on like wave 4 and 5, but we haven't even seen like wave 2 or 3. So,
Wow. Okay. Yeah. John, what about you, man? You got any more predictions you wanna?
In regards to the collecting, I think LBS is gonna come in strong, and I don't want to say take over the market, but I think they're really going to, at least for third scale, they're going to really be the ones to look out for, the underdog to look out for. I think that's what I think. I think they're gonna give some stiff competition to Prime 1.
is the third scale market pretty huge? Like, just as huge as like the 12th scale, or not 12th scale, the quarter scale?
Third scale's pretty big, yeah.
It's not as big as quarter scale, but it's definitely like people are jumping to 1/3.
Enough to make a difference.
And I think
Yeah.
it's because of price points. But then again, you know, Sideshow, I think Sideshow's going to have a banger year. I'm predicting Company of the Year for Sideshow, in my opinion. If they keep going the way they're going. We're only in April, and they so far have been just spot on with everything they're doing.
That Iron Man was nice.
Which one?
I'm still thinking about the Legendary Beast.
Oh, the LBS one. That's coming.
They
But-
got you, man. See?
Yeah, I was like, God damn.
Yeah.
It's,
He's
like,
already
it's
jumping
just,
from quarter
it's
to
just
1/3.
supposed to be the Thanos.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see towards the later part of the year a tightening up in the community when it comes to selling. And pieces are just not going to be selling as low as they are. If not this year, into next year.
Yeah, if you have the money and if you're like, you got to be smart with it too, right? Not just having the money, because no one can predict what's going to happen from 6 to 8 months. I mean, we're trying to, but we don't know if we're right or wrong. But like, it's like a buyer's market is what everyone's saying, right? Right now, it's crazy right now.
Like in today's market, the way this market is, it primes you not to pre-order and to wait for the secondary market. Mm-hmm. That's the way we're primed right now. Like people are picking up pieces at 2-3 times below retail. So it's like we're pre-ordering. So I'd be shocked if we don't see a reversal there.
You know what's scary right now? Really quick, it's like I want the Prime 1 Green Lantern. I want the Prime 1 Wonder Woman. I haven't PO'd them because I've seen collectors get brand new statues and put them up for sale like two weeks later, man. It's just like
it's crazy.
They don't even hold on to them anymore, man. It's just like they got them for like I don't know. It's just like you just said. I'm not even pre-ordering anything anymore. There's no, except for Hulk. I'm guessing that's like the only one like on everyone's list. Is that Hulk? I
have a feeling that edition size is going to be so low. Like really lower than a lot of people are expecting. So that's why, and it's not only that, he's not a piece that'll be easy to ship afterwards, and people aren't going to want to ship. Because of the cost and everything. So I think that's one that you kind of want to, you got to get in your mindset. If you really want that representation in the collection, you may want to pre-order that one just because afterwards it might be a pain to deal with and get one in. But I want to ask you guys, if companies were to start merging, how do you think that'll look? Like who would merge with who?
Yeah,
it's tough. I'll say something. I'd like to see Prime 1 really work closer together with Sideshow. I think that relationship, if that was a rock solid relationship, I think that both companies would benefit from that. Because now we sit back and we say, hey, is Sideshow getting the Penguin? Is Sideshow getting Talon? Is Sideshow getting this? That, like, we don't know. You only see it a few weeks afterwards. If we had like a solid, definite, like, hey, they're getting these pieces.
Are you talking more licensing, or are you just talking about like actual company merger?
Either or, whatever you feel is on the horizon. If it was,
I think if it's going to result in more consistency of product and faster wait times and things like that, then I mean, if they could reach an agreement, then I guess that'd be great.
It's tough, man. Like, I really want Prime 1 to succeed, but also, like, if they team up with Sideshow and, like, more of their statues are available to them, what's that mean to the edition size for you, John? Like, do you think it's going to get bigger, or do you think it's going to remain the same? Like,
yeah, I think it'll remain the same. I just think, I think the edition sizes will remain the same the way they do now. I just think the pieces will sell out faster. I think so. I think so. I think people's hesitation, specifically with Talon, I would love Talon. The issue with Talon and being in Canada is they only offer air shipping. So to get Talon, I'm almost looking at close to $1,000
just for shipping.
Just for shipping. I think when I checked, 1,000 or 700, something like that. It's ridiculous. With Sideshow, it's a little bit of a different story. And then even ordering, the confidence in the customer service is not 100% there as well. If there's something wrong, you got to ship it back at your cost. With Sideshow, all those boxes are ticked. So I think there's another level of confidence when ordering through Sideshow for Prime. And you see, the Prime 1 pieces usually fly fairly quickly on Sideshow site.
Oh yeah, I've seen it a couple times. So yeah, like as soon as they jump on, like as soon as people hear it's on Sideshow, they'd rather like hear that than over like I'm gonna order from Prime 1. You know? So, yeah. How about you, Sean? Like, do you see in your 112 world like any companies merging?
I don't know so much if it'd be companies merging, but I think it's gonna kind of go towards what's already happening with certain, like Hasbro like Hasbro and Super 7 with Power Rangers. You know, Hasbro has the license; they're making the mainstream Power Rangers, whatever, right? But now Super 7 is also creating them. I believe it's like one of those like Hasbro and Super 7 ×2 kind of thing, and you know they're putting out stuff that maybe Hasbro doesn't have time for, and there's a couple other companies that are doing that. So I mean, to get more in a different version of something, especially if things are kind of going down quality wise, I mean, I think it's a good move because the other company has a chance to capitalize and be the better one, I guess. Better competition, maybe, forcing them to make better quality. I kind of like what Walton says, though. He says quality would go down, like if there was like a merger. And I guess I kind of get that. Like, you know, it's like marriage pains, you know, like you kind of have to figure each other out and keep everybody happy and kind of go through those growing pains before things start hitting their stride.
Yeah, I feel like with any merger, that definitely is like a little transition point, you know. But man, like,
Yeah, I don't think Sideshow would merge with Prime One. I just want their relationship to strengthen.
you want them to carry more Prime One
the
stuff,
distribution,
yeah.
the distribution rights and so forth on the products.
Okay, I guess really, let's call this a quickie.
Wow.
If you were to predict right now, like put $1 million on it, what companies for you would it be that merge? And we kind of hinted at it what we thought, but if you were to put money on it, which companies?
I don't know. Tweeterhead and Sideshow?
I think they're
distributor wise, no? Same as Prime?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
That's what I mean. They're not, like Sideshow kind of umbrellas everything. It'd just be if Sideshow came in and swooped over and took over. So, I don't know. Anthony says Prime 1 and XM.
That'd be difficult, I think.
And Carl's saying Iron Studios and Sideshow. Again, same scenario as Tweeterhead, where they're distributing. So they already kind of have
a relationship. They're just not the same company.
Yeah.
And CC wants to make sure we remember Funko because they let go of what was that?
Mondo,
yeah.
Mondo.
So she says on the topic of companies merging, fuck Funko. Sorry, anyone who collects that. They bought Mondo, canned everyone who in the art print division and had the audacity to say they'll continue doing prints. Damn.
It'd be interesting to see what XM does. I think XM actually has investors.
Yeah, don't they have they have a like relationship with Disney? They have a relationship with like a bunch of other like little things, but
so they have a big they have a lot going on as well.
Yeah, man, the statue world, Sean, is like I don't want to say in shambles, but it's hard to predict what's going to happen. It's like it's probably easier before COVID, but now it's just like you don't know what's going to happen. Like this stuff of LBS, Legendary Beast Studios, getting the DC license is like it's not causing chaos, but it's making people like go like, should I wait till like their Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman come out and start collecting that? It's getting people.
So is it they also have the license, or they have the license?
They just got it.
They have the license.
So like other
Justice
companies
League?
cannot produce as well, or they also have the license.
I still think other companies can produce.
So they just added the license.
So they have the license to Justice League, Superman Core, and Batman Core. So the opportunities are endless.
That's crazy.
The thing here is, and I think it falls on the collectors, is that, and I think the success of LBS and the product is going to be when they put items up for order, are people going to go for it?
Yeah.
Don't forget, LBS is fairly new as well, right? They're not. Yeah. So I look at Jay as one of us, sort of thing. He started LBS, but he's his passion and you have a conversation with him, it's very collector focused. You can
Right. Well, and he's willing to talk to you,
Oh yeah,
like personally, almost too, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Piggy says, I need new DC characters from LBS, Martian Manhunter, Hawkgirl, someone outside of the Trinity. So I think
Do you think that's going to drive up prices of older statues, or you think it's going to be like a buyer's market for that as well?
For what?
it's doing that right now. Like the Captain America, the only
Oh,
one that's
yeah.
like a
Yeah.
weird one is the Thor. There's like
I
a
don't-
Thor.
I don't
from
understand
LBS.
it. I don't
Yeah.
understand it.
It's beautiful. It's the most like common one in everyone's collections. But that one, for some reason, for some crazy reason, it goes way before market value. I saw one go for like $900 one time.
That's
When
crazy.
Yeah, and it goes from $900 to like $2,100. It's like really random, but that one is definitely one. Yeah. Dang.
I think with the Hulk and Iron Man coming out, I don't think you'll find it that cheap.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's crazy. It's just crazy. It's crazy, guys.
So I guess like another quick question, since like, do you guys think we have a ton more companies, statue companies, I'm guessing figure companies. Do you think with having all these companies that it's a good idea for these companies to release 5 statues a year, or 10 figures a year? Or do you think they should keep it minimal, like release 2 or 3? Because they know other, like, they know collectors buy other than their own, like LBS knows that other people collect Prime 1 stuff, like Sideshow stuff. Like they know that. They don't want to like what's it called? Bankrupt collectors. They don't want to like empty
But
out
I
their
also think it
wallets.
makes collectors pick and choose like what they might pick up. I mean, there's some 1/12 guys that they just get everything. I can think of a few just here in town that they'll go and pick up a WWE figure, and then they'll go pick up a DC and a Marvel and something from Mattel or something from Jurassic Park, just to buy a figure and stuff. But I mean, the thing is that a lot of these companies for 1/12 have the license exclusively, unless that exclusive company reaches out to another company who's like, hey, you want to do a team up on this line, and you guys push it out, but we also have our creative mind to what you're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's the same in the statue world, man. There's some statue collectors out there that collect everything. They're not as loud as like some other people, but they're it's insane, man.
I think on the statue front, I think unfortunately it's going to be a race. You see a lot of these companies doing the same characters. Look at Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman, for example, this year or last year.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like every company's touching her. And I think it's almost a race as to who's coming out first. I think now is very important. It's great to have competition. It's a great time to be a collector in the sense that you have so many options and you have different routes to choose from. But the problem for the companies is I think they have to sit back and look at a proper release schedule. And that's going to be important because people are impatient and they're not willing to wait.
Yeah, perfect example of that is Queen Studios, man. That's the biggest surprise for me so far this year. Like they're not following through with what they released earlier this year. That's I feel like Queen Studios for me has been one of those companies that's always kept up with what they said, or whatever they promised. But now that with everything happening with InArts and their half scale stuff, it's like, what's going on here,
What worries me the most with Queen Studios now is getting into a line with them.
Yeah.
Because if I was someone who touched the half scale line, and I was anticipating, again, it would be my own fault for the anticipation, but the way they were kind of projecting the pieces and how they were being vocal with the companies, we're doing this half scale line. Tons of people got into the Cap and were waiting for a Thor and so forth to do a nice line. And now they're whatever, stopping it or holding it or whatever they're doing, they're putting a freeze to it at least now and pivoting. I think that's so dangerous as a company. Even if they were to kind of do like a a crowdfunding project for a Thor or so forth if they had to go that route, but to just say just to hold the license and to say no, well, we're freezing it, we're stopping it, and that's it. I don't think that's cool.
Yeah, definitely, man. We'll see, man. Sideshow still like front runner for you, John. After saying all this, after all this talk.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to talk about previous years. I'm saying so far this year only for what's been shown and what's been released so far. Sideshow's in the forefront for me.
Got you. And Sean, how about you, man? Like, any company you think is gonna pull strong this year? Or who's pulling strong right now for you? Like right now, like is it Hasbro? Is it Super 7?
I think about like the kind of companies they are. Like, you know, Hasbro has to put out stuff. You know, they just have to. They have to fill up Targets and Walmarts and all these other places. And a lot of times that creates them pushing things out faster than what other companies would. Because what I've started noticing is that, you know, Hasbro or McFarlane or somebody will drop this particular figure, right? And then someone like SH Figuarts or Mafex or Mezco, some of these more higher end lines will come and drop the same figure, and it's a little bit closer to what the movie might have been. You know, I remember when Infinity War was coming out, they made their Thanos very inaccurate. Hasbro did, you know, giving him certain things that he never had, or whether it was just like art stills that they had to pull from and then create their Thanos from there, and then they'll come and drop 2 or 3 others, you know, and then someone like SH Figuarts, Mafex, they'll drop it once or maybe twice for like an exclusive, and it has this or that, you know, and or a battle damage version, and it'd be significantly better. Maybe not like 100% on the dot, but they waited till after the movie, or announced after the movie, after things were more finalized, and you get a better product. But you're also paying more, you know. That's kind of what I'm getting nervous with, like with Hasbro right now, is some of their figures are getting up to the $30-$40 range. Even NECA, you know, $34, and very little articulation sometimes, you know, stiffer joints and stuff. And then for like another $10-$15, you can get a not even, probably like less than $10, you can get an SH Figuarts Dragon Ball Z figure with great articulation and great effect pieces and things like that. And they may not be the best example to use right now, but you're also paying more for some of those other like Marvel DC stuff in the $80 to $90 to $120 range. But I feel like they waited longer, so you get a better product.
Walton was saying LBS needs to ramp up production to 6 to 7 statues a year. For me, that is way too much. At that price
No, man,
point,
but you got to keep going. What am I going to do, quit? That's not an option. You got to keep on keeping on. Life's a garden, dig it? You make it work for you. You never give up, man. That's my philosophy.
you're crazy.
That came out
That was
perfect.
good. That was perfect. But no, that's.
Sorry.
I think that'll be. I don't think that would work well for them if they were to do that. Steady pace, 2 to 3 a year at that price point, I think is safe.
Yeah. You know what, Sean John, you know what kind of like is kind of worrying me right now is this. We're talking all the way from half scale all the way down to 1/12 scale, like figures from $35 to $3,500. This is like affecting everybody. There's like economy and all this other stuff. It's affecting everybody. There's like no one's safe, you know. It's a buyer's market, but man, like Brenton brought this up. Question of the week: is it a good idea? I think his question was: is it a good idea to financially to buy stuff right now? Should you be saving up now, or should you buy what you can right now at these crazy prices?
You know, it's a good question, but it's a question that's going to be different for everybody. because everyone's going to be in a different financial state than the other person. You know, the economy could be tanking, which could be benefiting someone, either stock wise or whatever. Investing
That's
in precious
a good point.
investing in precious metals. Money is very dangerous. Some people will be low, some people will be high. So to say that I shouldn't put all my eggs in one basket because of the possibility of the economy, it's something to look into and take it. It's something to consider, but I wouldn't. Again, you got to look at yourself. You got to look at personally how you're collecting. It is something that should be in the back of the mind. Of course, this is just a hobby, and you should collect responsibly. But
Shameless plug.
you have to look at your goals and your financial situation. It's not. I can't tell you economically if you should put your money away and save. That's only you can see that. What I can tell you is to be careful and take with a grain of salt all these YouTubers and streamers and friends that you see online. Take what they say and what they're purchasing and their collections with a grain of salt. That's them building their collections based on their finances, and you have to make sure that just understand it's not a race. This collecting game is not a race. This hobby is supposed to be passionate. Some people have been in it.
Although it feels that way sometimes.
For sure. But, you may see someone buying a statue every week. But, well, you don't know what goes on behind the scenes with that person. You don't know how long they've been collecting. You don't know if they're recycling an old collection. You just don't know, right? So, you take everything with a grain of salt, and don't base your purchasing habits on what people on YouTube are doing. That's just not cool.
Yeah.
One thing that always bothered me is how us collectors, maybe not us in general, or even our general community that's watching now or watches our other shows or whatever, they shame other collectors for like, oh, you bought that statue or you have that figure. Well, this one's a better one.
Slap 'em.
You should have gotten this one. I'm like, guys, like, it's not about you. Not in this case.
It happens in the statue world, man, all the time. Like, I get a statue. They're like, oh man, you should go for the other one too. It's like, be happy for me for like a minute, just like, let's celebrate this thing. And it's like, no, you need this one though. I was like, you bastard. But yeah, I don't know, man. It comes with the territory too, we're little kids still collecting our toys, but more expensive toys. But yeah, we're.
What John was saying though about like the financials, and you don't know what my wife and I, we do a little bit of investing, just kind of like as to have like a little nest egg and grow that out and stuff. But what our person was telling us is that people will tell you not to invest when the market's this bad, but she goes, that's actually a really good time to invest because like the stocks are cheaper.
Yeah.
So you may not be making nothing right now, but if you held on to it and once things bounce back and things get a little bit better, you have a stock that's going to do better.
You got to be smart about it, man. Do your research and like. We're not stockbrokers, but yeah, there was a lot of missed opportunity when COVID hit to invest for sure. Because people instill panic, right?
Yep.
You gotta have tunnel vision, keep your head down, focus on you and your family.
I mean, that was us like during pandemic. I know y'all probably talked about this last time, but with all the bad that was happening, my family actually. We did okay. We were good. We were able to turn those checks that everybody was getting into a down payment for this house. We leveled up crazy, as far as like what kind of house we have and stuff. And we're really proud of like the work and the research and the money that was saved and put in certain places to have what we have now.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Nothing wrong with that. Talking about last week's episode, Sean, you sent me these two pictures. I just want to, I want to figure out why you sent these pictures, but like we were trying to guess. But here we go. You sent this one.
Okay. So you talked about purchases, right? Like what was like a collection purchase, right? And for me it was this. Like this right here was probably my biggest and best purchase of 2020. You know,
Yeah.
Well, even outside, even like talking about collecting, this right here got me on the road to cooking. It got me on the road to having fun with cooking, you know, and doing all kinds of different stuff. So over all the collectibles I bought, this was my this was probably my best purchase of 2020 collectible wise.
That's I got one myself too, man. It's amazing when you start barbecuing and everyone's just like the aroma kicks in.
Put some shrimp on the barbie.
Yeah. But then you also brought this one. I think this was like your latest one, right?
No, so okay, so this one right here was the I believe I shouldn't say the first Hot Toys that I bought, but it was the first Hot Toys that I got.
Jesus.
That was I know that
Yeah, I was looking at this.
that I got during COVID. Oh yeah, that's my cat. That's
Hell
Lizzie.
yeah.
Put
She
some
sits
cat
up-
on the barbie.
But this is our old house. But he was the first Hot Toys that I pre-ordered from the shop I worked at, and I got him in around COVID time.
Beast of
So
a figure.
You were talking about like what was one of the first figures you got during COVID? I think it was this one.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah, it was hard. Like even John had a trouble figuring out which one was his first one during COVID, right, John? Like you weren't sure,
Yeah,
or you
I
weren't
don't know.
buying anything, right?
I wasn't, yeah.
That's right.
I wasn't buying around COVID.
I had a list. I probably had a page and a half list of figures, Hot Toys, and statues that I was like, okay, I'm gonna sell this stuff. It's gonna be able to fund A, B, C, D, you know, and that's kind of what happened.
That's funny, man.
That's why you see a lot of this stuff back here.
Yeah,
You
I
see
bet.
the Iron Patriot, you know, and the Thanos is down there, and then the Iron Spider and stuff like that. A lot of those were COVID pre-orders that turned in a year and a half later.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Well, you guys, we hit the 1 hour mark. Try to predict the future. I think this is probably the hardest question I think I come across because all the variables and everything going on right now. I don't think it's affecting John, man. John's getting like all the Batmans, like all the Supermans.
Oh. Like I said, it's affecting. It's just I did what Sean did, kind of pivot, collect my collection.
Yeah.
I 15 years of collecting, you know, it gives you a little bit of a nest egg to kind of clear out and kind of reinvest is how I like to look at it.
You know, for me personally, while there's still maybe like 2 Hot Toys that I want and a handful of statues that I still want. I learned very quickly that the statue game is not sustainable for me.
No, if you don't
for
have,
us.
if it's not, if it's for everybody. If you
Yeah.
don't have something to recycle,
Yep.
no. Who drop $1,000 to $2,000 a month? Or no, it's crazy. No way, I wouldn't. I'm very close to my just stopping for a long while. A couple more pieces and I'm done for a good while.
Well, it looks like Cece's still here. I just want to wish Cece a great trip, a safe trip.
Hell yeah.
Have fun, take pictures, get drunk,
Yep.
and yeah,
Meet some
I think-
celebrities.
meet some celebrities, meet other collectors, like freaking have tons of
Have
fun.
a blast.
Take pictures, take more pictures and pictures and pictures and pictures, and collect all the art prints you could
Yeah.
bring back. And yeah, she's going to it was it England or
London, yeah, London.
London, same thing.
For
Same
celebration.
thing, yeah.
For celebration. So, yeah, of course, it's gonna be insane. It's gonna be a convention for nerds, her type of nerds. You know, like she's gonna have. I hope she has a ton of fun. Like, just
She'll
don't
be
get
in her
sick.
element.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's gonna live stream from there and be like, "Hey guys, I'm staying."
Oh,
Yeah.
Cece, are you gonna join us next week for from a celebration?
Yeah.
No kidding. Don't do that. Don't worry about anything over here. Like, yeah, definitely have fun. And I heard like London, it always rains every other day, so like take a coat or something. Yeah, but have fun. And John, you have anything to close out?
Yeah, I wish CC a safe trip. You guys, this was an awesome episode. I could go on for another hour.
I know. I was like, we hit 1 hour, but
This
I
is
can keep
good,
talking.
yeah. I appreciate. I always love being on here, Steve. So I appreciate spending some time with you guys and everyone in the chat.
Awesome, man. Yeah, it was collectors talking amongst collectors, so that's what it's all about. Yeah. And how about you, Sean?
Nope. I'm good. I actually just got the call from my son that I need to go downstairs. So
Perfect timing.
yep.
All right,
It was
guys,
fun. I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad to talk with you guys every week and stuff. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely. Well, there's CC right there. Actually, still watching. You should join in. Like we could go for another hour if you want. No, I'm kidding. Like
She said, "Hold down the fart for me." Oh, Ford. Oh, sorry,
Ford.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Hey.
No, you guys. Thank you guys, Sean, John, and I will see you guys tomorrow. So you guys have fun. And John, what you're saying?
Guys, always remember, collect responsibly. We'll leave you there. All the best.
See you guys.
Bye, guys.